Thanks. Oh, it's so nice. It's nice to see everyone show up. I was just talking to Veronica, and it's like this December has been like both a marathon, because time seems super like elastic. Like, it's been a few weeks since the election, but it feels like it's been a few years. And I don't know. It's just been a strange one. Let's see who's here. Hi, Jeannie. Oh. Yeah, these Instagram lives have actually been super, like, stabilizing for me, grounding. It's not like I'm an unstable person, really, but having the pace of these every few weeks and having to sort of provide for them, provide like 40 pieces every few weeks, it's like a major undertaking. And now they're starting to get kind of like a thematic. Like, I find the thread that's woven through the Instagram live, and I can tell a story like in a longer format. So this one is a little bit about, I mean, there's a thread that goes through them that has to do with the Egyptian influence on, I guess, like European culture through ancient Rome to the Georgians to Art Deco, American Art Deco. And it's not like a comprehensive thesis by any means, but there is a thread that I think you'll see. And every time I do this, start telling stories through the jewelry, I'm like, God, I should go back to school and like write a thesis. Like, I want to write a book on, the history of ancient Egyptian like aesthetics on Western culture. Or I thought about writing a thesis about the depiction of animals, like the abstraction of animals, anthropomorphic beasts in the Western world, and why they look so freaky. And, all this Ouroboros jewelry, or the dolphin jewelry where they don't look like dolphins at all. I want to think about that. Yeah, I don't have to go back to school, just do it. I don't know. I mean, there's a little bit of imposter syndrome because I didn't go to graduate school. I don't have like any kind of higher education in history or jewelry or art history. I have an undergrad degree. But the last real long, comprehensive paper I wrote was in like 2001. Most PhD art turbo nerds. And I have a lot of friends with PhDs who are so happy to help. You're right. I think if I went back to graduate school, I'd probably be like, I don't need this. Turbo nerd. Yeah, turbo nerd is a great description. Anyway, speaking of nerds, I'll show you what I'm reading currently, in case you're interested. This book, Gifts of the Nile, about ancient Egyptian faience, which I bought on Thrift Books. Can you see this? Not Amazon, never Amazon. You do not need to buy books or anything else on Amazon. Thrift Books is great, but this is about ancient Egyptian faience, which is this blue ceramic stuff. Lots of freaky looking anthropomorphized animals there. And yeah, I brought some nerd alert. I brought a lot of books with me today that I'm going to be opening up. Let's see, are we ready to start? Usually I wait till we get to 100 people, but I don't know. The way this December is going, it's like, who's even out there? Is anyone out there? Is anyone out there? I don't know. Anyone have any questions for me? Happy to answer anything. I'm an open book. Where's everyone shopping right now? Because I bought a few things on Amazon today. I'm not going to lie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Shall we begin? Oh, I have a question. Does anyone here ever buy shit on Instagram stories? Because I do. I feel like it's this feeling of urgency that you see something, you're like, oh shit, that's so new. I gotta snag it. Yeah. Danielle, local businesses, yes. What's coming to Stissing House next week? Everything that doesn't sell at this, plus about everything that doesn't sell at the next Instagram Live, which is a week from now, and some surprises. If anyone's upstate and wants to go to the Stissing House event, which is on the 15th, I'm going to be there. I have 2 comped tickets if anyone wants. They're both sold out. It's like both shows or whatever events are sold out. But I have 2 tickets that do not have, owners yet. Just let me know. DM me. Okay, let's get started. You guys know about vulcanite? Vulcanite is, can you see there's a little bit of brownness here? It's not totally black, but this is considered black jewelry in the 19th century, alongside jet, gutta percha, French jet, crepe glass, stuff like that. Vulcanite is my favorite of all the black mourning jewelry. This piece is going to be on sale for $595, which is straight up like nothing. Should I talk about how the game works? How this Instagram Live works? Yeah. Okay. Invoice please is the keyword you need to know. Okay. Veronica is Rhinestone Cowgirl. She is here moderating this Instagram Live. And if you're interested in buying one of these pieces, you can just ask for an invoice in the comments and she will DM you that invoice, okay? She'll DM you the invoice, check your DMs. It helps to sometimes have, like, if you have a laptop and you're watching the live and then you have your phone, you can switch to DMs. Follow the link and check out with your credit card, and that is the way to acquire the piece. Whoever asks for the invoice first gets the invoice first, and then there's like a 5-minute lag before she'll invoice someone else. So you got a couple minutes to check out. And what else do you need to know? Shipping is a flat $20. Even though I'm finding, we send things through UPS and things are generally like $40 a package right now, which is fucking bananas. Like, small businesses have it hard enough, but sending a package for $40, I feel like the most I can ask you guys to pay is $20. So it's a flat $20 fee. And we ask for you to not return pieces that you buy during the live unless they show up like broken or horribly misrepresented or something. But the idea is things are on the cheaper end, priced super well, and just, if you want it, buy it, keep it, try. And what else, Veronica? What am I missing? So say invoice please, and you'll get an invoice in your DMs. What else?
Shipping takes us a few days.
Shipping takes a few days because this month I am the one shipping things to you. Usually I just put all this stuff in a box, mail it to Veronica in Portland, Oregon, and she'll do the very considered and beautiful shipping to everyone. Right now it's me, baby. So after I drop my kids off at school, I come in here like a bat out of hell and pack up your packages and write like somewhat like questionable messages on these little cards thanking you. And then, so it's gonna take a minute. Sorry, but I'm moving as fast as I can. Oh, also, when you order something, you're gonna get these stickers. Okay, who doesn't like stickers? These just came in, they're like hot off the presses. Basically, these images I've been collecting, historical images from books, from museums, from whatever. We've made them into sticker sheets, sort of John Darien sticker book style. Venus of Willendorf right there. You'll get some stickers in your order. These are amazing. Veronica designed these. I sent her a million images. I'm like, can you make some stickers for me? And she did. Wonder Woman is truly Veronica, not me. Anyway, okay, so invoices are out for this guy. Oh, Gnocchi is here. That's Lindsay. Lindsay, we're on our first piece. Are you going to be here for the long haul?
Sold.
Okay, it's sold already. I didn't see that come in. Oh, was it the one for $470 or something? Okay.
Regina got it.
Oh, Regina, good. Okay, let's make this happen, guys, because we need... Mama's got to pay the bills. Numero dos. Another freaking awesome bracelet. Oh, Emily's watching from Miami. Oh, Weenie, my sister's here. If you guys don't know, or if anyone is an art collector as well as a jewelry collector, Emily Weiner is in Miami right now exhibiting at the NADA Art Fair and is just selling paintings as fast as, like hotcakes. Okay, so this bracelet, I had one maybe 7 years ago. Turns out this is American. I started getting really into American jewelry because around the 1870s, America started sort of doing its thing stylistically. Before 1870, America was just following whatever the UK did, or sometimes they'd try to make jewelry in like the French style. But really, America was just trying to like grow food and defend itself and like build roads during the 1860s. Oh yeah, and kill each other. Kill their, neighbors. But around 1870, 1880, America came on the world stage in terms of design, technology, industry, like medicine, all kinds of stuff, art, architecture. And this is when this bracelet is from. It's incredibly well designed. It's got an industrial feel. It's just metal, it's not gold. It's gonna be $550. It's like 1 inch by 7 inches. It has that no bullshit American feel. And there's a patent number on it. Americans were obsessed with patenting things because they wanted to be, they wanted to keep all the money. Still like that. Can you see it says registered August 14th, which is how I know it's American. If it was British, it would say 14th August. 1880 E.F. Griffin & Co. E.F. Griffin & Co. is basically unfindable on the internet. There's a couple other industrial style pieces out there, but the part that was patented is this clasp. It's on a spring in there, and you stick it in the little holes, and it has like a satisfying little clasp there. Super solid, totally hidden, and then to open it, you pinch these little guys again, and it opens. Right around 1870, 1880, America showed up at the, what was the World's Fair called back then? It was called like the Columbian Exposition or I forget what exactly, but countries would come together and show off their best and brightest and sometimes ethically questionable, newest finds, whether it was anthropology or archaeology or art or inventions. Thomas Edison showed the light bulb at one of these things. But this kind of jewelry is what showed up at those fairs, and it made England and Europe kind of nervous because America turned out to have some pretty good ideas. All right, next.
Sold.
Okay, that guy's sold. The next thing I want to show you, what?
For these pendants, by the way, the shallow one is sold. The one shallow color.
Okay. Okay, I've some, I don't really do this much because it's hard to find a duplicate of any kind of jewelry, but I do have I had 2 of these, now I have 1. It's a great early Georgian diamond from right around the beginning of the 1800s, maybe 1810, 1820, 1800. It's about a 1/4 carat. We're asking $1,450, which is a pretty goddamn, it's a steal, quite honestly. It's not small. It's not a small diamond. 3/4 of a carat. It's foil backed. It's in a silver deep collet setting with a gold back, gold washed back, which was a good choice for the Georgians because it means like you don't really want silver on your skin because it's going to tarnish. So they made the backs gold. The loop on top is contemporary. You know, it's just like a gold loop that a jeweler made because I suspect since I bought a few of these, they came from some larger ornate piece of Georgian jewelry that didn't make sense for whatever reason, like a tiara. Sadly, people take tiaras apart. Yeah, I think I put this on Instagram stories. I think a lot of people thought they were earrings. They're not. They're just pendants. See? With a big loop so you can put it on your chain. No, it was never earrings, I don't think. It was probably some part of some gigantic, like, God knows what. Okay, looks like that one's sold, so I move on. Everyone, I mean, there's not too much to say about a Georgian foil back diamond that you guys don't know. I think you're like my deep nerds here, so you know about foil backing and silver settings. And okay, I move on. And this one, I'm really glad my sister's watching because this is a locket for you, baby. It says Jersey. This is not New Jersey, like the New Jersey that she and I grew up in. It's, first of all, I'm asking $1,100 for this. Jersey is an island off of England, right? That served a pretty major purpose during World War II. I think they were, God, it's sad. I'm like just digging through my memory for what I know about Jersey in England. I think they were like a, sort of like Hawaii was for us. It's like an outpost. Yeah, deep nerd cohort. Anyway, Jersey, there was a lot of souvenir jewelry from Jersey, but this one is just, let's see if you can see that really excellent late Victorian detailing on it. Great engraving, great font. Reminds me of like a, I don't know, Atlantic City or something. Speaking of Jersey, $1,100. It's a locket. The frames are totally intact. The glass is totally intact. And even the blue paper that originally came with it is still in there. $1,100 for anyone who still has a 908 area code on their cell phone. Let's see how it's gonna look on. Historical jewelry nerd. Yes. Okay, I'm going to go through them a little maybe quicker than usual because I have a few more than I usually do. Okay, this next piece I would say is one of my favorite things in the lineup. I'm asking $685. Like, these prices are stupid. Then again, this is not gold. It's a Egyptian Revival perfume vessel. So this opens, there's a cork. Inside, it's a glass bottle that's got this sort of egg ovoid shape. I wouldn't say this is watertight anymore. If you want to put actual perfume in it, you're going to have to replace that cork. It's just metal, it's brass, and I would say aluminum. And I can't tell if it's from the 1880s Egyptian Revival or the 1920s Egyptian Revival, but it's definitely Egyptian Revival, and here's how I know. Check out this crazy print on the aluminum. Scarabs, ankh, snake, an eye, like an Eye of Horus type. But it's not Egyptian. It's a European interpretation of ancient Egypt. Sold?
Sold.
Okay, it's sold, but I'm just going to show you one more thing. This, when you put it on, it's like a size 6 ring. When you put it on, I think it's flapper era 20s because it fits in the hand so incredibly well. It just, I would put it on my pointer finger and it just is meant to be held while dancing, I would say. It's pretty rad. Putting it aside. Okay, so this piece is Art Nouveau. Hieroglyphics, yes. This piece is Art Nouveau. It's got 9 carat on the frame, sort of rosy, and mostly silver. We got a little, what's it called? It's not faux bois, trompe l'oeil fold there on the side. And it's engraved Ye Spider and Ye Fly. Fly is spelled F-L-I-E, not sure why. It's a combination of engraving and applied metal, the bugs. But it's definitely English, 1880s, 1890s, Art Nouveau. There's a lot of things that make it Art Nouveau. The naturalistic sort of animals, the branches, it's asymmetric. There's a lot of different quadrants where it's being framed in different ways. But The Spider and the Fly was a poem written by a woman named Mary Howitt. It starts with a really famous line. Oh, by the way, $850. The beginning of this poem is step into my parlor or walk into my parlor. And it's become sort of a shorthand for, I think in the beginning of the poem, the spider says to the fly, come into my parlor. And she's inviting him in, and it seems like she's going to be a friend, but it's obviously because she's going to fucking eat him. So it's the poem is sort of a shorthand for false friendship, or let's see. Yeah, false friendship. It's incredible. Yeah. Sorry, the diamond pendants sold. But we're going to have more in a couple weeks. This guy is probably going to stay in my family if it's not sold today. Yeah, it was kind of a fable. Insincerity, I guess, is what the poem's about. $850, 1870, fantastic Art Nouveau spider, like any insect jewelry kind of gets me going. Speaking of, the next one is from, I don't know, 20 or so years later. It's a Vesta case, which is actually a super useful item with a spider and a spider's web on it. It's fantastic. This one's also $850. Sterling silver. I'd say made around 1900. Let's see. Here's what it is. It's curved, sort of like a flask. You would put it in your vest pocket, and it would connect to your watch chain. And yeah, oh shit, it is a good one. And what you would do is you'd put matches inside. Safety matches if they had been invented around 1900, they hadn't become a really common popular thing. So people had basically strike anywhere matches, and you would carry them around in your pocket. Everyone smoked, but sometimes they would kind of spontaneously ignite in your pocket. Not obviously a great idea. So these were invented. They are named after Vesta, who was the Roman god of the hearth, and the home. Basically, like one of the gods of fire. That was like a nice piece of marketing by whoever invented these. But they really did keep your matches safe. They were also called match safes. And right here, there's a place where you could strike your match. Otherwise, you'd strike it on your clothing or on the bottom of your shoe, anything that had a rough surface, but there's a really rough surface here. So you'd take out your match, you'd strike it on the bottom, and light your cigarette. Looks like this one's sold, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to keep better track of what's sold and not sold at this time. Oh, here's another one I got duplicates of because I'm really good at shopping. These guys are both $395, which is basically free, I guess. They're silver. Sorry, I know that's not free for everyone, but it's very hard for us to buy and sell antique jewelry for under $500. It's been a puzzle I've been struggling over, dreaming over, thinking about for years. These guys are little envelope-shaped lockets where you really can put something inside, a note, herbs, a photo, a secret, whatever. One of them, I mean, the thing I love about these, they were made for stamps, so they're stamp holders. And they were made in some sort of industrial way because they were both stamped with hallmarks from Chester, England, which was one of the great jewelry manufacturing towns in the 19th century. One of them, it's impossible for you guys to see, but one of these stamps is for the town of Chester, and one of them tells us the date, which one of them is 1905, one of them is 1913. And then both of them have the English hallmark for sterling silver. They're about an inch tall. They would have held stamps because writing letters in the beginning of the 20th century was so essential. You kind of had to have a pen and stamps handy. Two of them, $395. They were both made in the same, manufacturing. I would say they were both made by the same team. And those are going to go quick. They're great for lockets. You really can have whatever you want in there. And at $395, it's kind of like a steal. They have a little gold wash inside, lots of hallmarks. Okay. So, I know a lot of people are here for the ancient Roman stuff because that's what I'm here for. I am so very here for it. I've gotten really into ancient Roman history and for me, a lot of people get into the history of something and the price is for one. So each one is $395. One of them is sold. Anyway, so when I get really into the history of something, I enter that historical nerd door through the objects of that era. So now I've started collecting things from ancient Rome. And I have these earrings, which are pretty sensational. I'm asking $1,900. They're from ancient Rome. They're like from the 1st or 2nd, possibly 3rd century AD. And I'll show you a little closer. Okay, finding ancient Roman actual gold jewelry is not easy, but here's how it went. Yeah, it's crazy. These on our website would be quite a lot more, so these black dangles are they're glass. They're hand-blown Roman glass. Romans were great at working with glass. You can see the pistil, I think, Pistil, where it was broken off the rod. And the rest of the earring is high carat. I tested it. It's over 15 and below 18. So that tracks for ancient Rome. And so these tops, these French hooks were added, I think really well done, actually, on this hinge. So you can put them on and take them off. Yeah, it is amazing. They're still together. They probably were in a museum or some kind of institution until very recently. And so you can put them on and take them off, which is great because the way ancient Roman earrings were designed was to put them on and leave them on basically forever or until you cut them off and decided to upgrade to a different kind of earring. And here's how you would do it. So imagine that French hook was just not there, okay? And this piece would be a long, spiky piece of gold you would go to your Roman jeweler. They would pierce your ear, sometimes with this, stab right through it, and then bend it into a circle and hook it around and usually wrap the wire around a few times. If you wanted to... Oh, sold. Someone bought these, which is an incredible buy. Congratulations. If you want, you can take them to a local jeweler and make them Roman style, which is get them to take off the French hook and you'll get them to install them permanently in your ears. Doesn't mean you can never take them out. Like, I have a pair of ancient Roman earrings I've been wearing for years. It's like a lion head that is a hoop, and then the hoop just has basically, I can't and won't, nor do I desire to take them out. And it's great. Something about that Roman gold, it's almost orange. It's like saffron colored. Anyway, congrats, nice score. A little sad to see those go. Okay, next. Okay, the envelopes are both sold as well.
Yeah, both
okay.
sold.
Next up this is $850. I'm trying to find some good sized and interesting antique chains for you, because chains are really hard to find from the 19th century. This one is $850. It's Niello. Those who love Niello really love Niello. Niello is when you take silver and you use some sort of highly toxic chemical compound. What is it, like sulfur and formaldehyde or something? And you sort of etch these very shallow channels in, and it turns it black. It's like making an applied surface decoration, black on silver, but through chemicals. People have been doing it for thousands of years. And around 1900, it sort of came back in style. Niello chains from that era are usually what we're seeing here, which is 9-carat rose gold on one link, and then Niello. Can you see these stripes? They're sort of barbershop pole stripes. And then another 9-carat rose gold one, and then another Niello one. Anyway, it's kind of hard to find them with the original Niello dog clip, but here we go. 28 inches, $850, circa 1900. Add all your charms right on there. Is Emily still here? Emily, are you here? No. Thanks, NEC Honeybee. You got that chain. Good purchase. Okay, the next one, I have a couple people waiting for this because over the past year, I've had a really good pipeline on ancient Egyptian pieces, and I no longer do. Sorry, this is the last one. And it's an ankh. It's a faience ankh from ancient Egypt. $725. Okay, so let's talk about the ankh. Is a symbol that anyone who grew up throughout the 1990s is going to know about this. I think the ankh probably means something similar to the Ouroboros, eternal life or something like that. I should know better, but all I know is that they were really popular at the mall. This one has an 18-carat mount that is contemporary, not ancient at all. But it's really well done. It's in a sort of Etruscan style with these beaded, that pivot spike. Anyway, faience, you can see this really great outline that someone did after they put it into the mold, because faience really was a mold-made product. Egyptians perfected this. I've been reading in my Gifts of the Nile Ancient Egyptian Faience book. They perfected the color, which was achieved through copper. There's lots of copper in this ceramic, but they also could mass produce them by putting them in molds. And it looks like this one, the mold either had an outline of the ankh to sort of give it a little extra dimension, or someone used a sharp tool to give it a little dimension afterwards. It's sold. It's the last ancient Egyptian faience you're going to see for a while. Congratulations to whoever got it. It's a great piece. Okay. I gotta find a little more space here. Next up, oh wait, I lied. It's not the last faience piece. The last faience piece is on my neck. It's not a sort of devotional item like that scarab. It's a bead. See this blue bead? And this one's a little different because it's not from ancient Egypt, it's from ancient Rome. It was found on English land. It's been underground for 2,000 years or so. Because the Romans were obsessed with faience too, the ancient Romans. They loved it, they wanted it, they loved it so much that they built their own faience factories, but they weren't quite as expert at making it as the ancient Egyptians were. So they ended up using, this is $350 by the way, ancient Roman faience, probably 1st or 2nd century. They used molds just like the Egyptians did, but they couldn't get the right exact clay. So they added a lot of different additives, which make it, I don't know, it was easier for them to work with, but the details aren't quite as fine as ancient Egyptian ones. Anyway, it's the only piece I've ever seen from ancient Rome in terms of faience, and it's got a nice big opening so it can go on whatever chain you want it to go on. Did Jeannie get that one? I think someone just got it. Oh, cool. Oh, anyway, like I was saying, is Emily still here? Little weenie? I know you're busy, you got a lot to do. It's strange to think of anyone watching this, because honestly, it's like kind of what I would be doing anyway on a normal night, just talking to the jewelry. But I don't know, it's nice to know my sis might be here. We're jumping around all over the globe and throughout time. The next piece is a baby tooth ring, which are getting rarer and rarer. This one's French. Check it out. See that tiny little baby tooth? My son is about to lose his first tooth literally any day. Like every day we wake up, we feel it. We're like, is it going to be today that you lose your tooth? This guy's $850. It's French. We know it's French not because there are French hallmarks. Actually, the hallmarks have been lost in a resizing. I can tell it was resized. Nobody else would ever know this, but there's like a little dark spot and thinner spot there in the back where it was resized maybe 100 years ago. And that's also where the hallmarks might have been, which no one gave a shit about back then, really. It's rose gold. It's 18 karat rose gold. It's size 7 1/4. It's $850. I would say $18.90. And for you guys who don't know, it was a thing to have your baby's first tooth used like a gemstone in jewelry. We even do custom baby tooth jewelry. You can DM if you want more info about that. But this one looks like someone repurposed honestly, it's just a ring mount. It looks like a diamond ring mount, but instead of a diamond, someone used a jewelry tool to make the tooth less disgusting than usual and just mounted it in a diamond ring mount. Less disgusting, I mean, they tidied up the root of the tooth and all the jagged edges. It almost looks like a jewel, There's nothing gross about it, and it's not yellow like some little teeth sometimes are. It's just a great and very wearable French 1890s baby tooth ring. $850. And if it makes it to our website, it's going to be like $1,200. That's just the way it is. Oh, hey, Lisa, what's up? Okay, next is on my body. This when I had that sort of melon. The gold bead on my necklace is not from Lauren Nicole, but I love her. I love her work. This is the next piece. It's a high carat chain from the very, very early 1800s. Great chain. Guys, chains like this are not easy to find. This is $2,400. I gold tested it and I acid tested it. It's somewhere between 15 and 18 carat. You know, alloys were a little dicey back then, but it's English and it's really long. You know what? I didn't actually measure it, but it's, I'm using my ruler. Can I show you the best ruler I've ever had? It's a ruler, but it's also called Rulers of England, and it tells you all of the kings of England and the years, which is very useful to nobody except me. This piece is 12, 13, 14, 15, 30 inches, and the clasp is really the star of the show. It's a hollow sphere with that great Georgian texture, and it opens like this. Like this. Yeah. I don't know what these are called exactly. It's $2,400, as it should be, because a 220-year-old high carat gold chain that's in like excellent condition. This looks machine made, but in the year 1800 there was no machine to make this, okay? And the clasp is also the feature. And whoever mentioned Lauren Nicole, she's a great jeweler who has a really deep understanding of ancient jewelry and ancient techniques, and she works in high carat gold and makes things that look kind of like this ancient inspired jewelry without being cheesy or repro-y. She just has a great light touch when it comes to that stuff, which is not easy. Okay, we got a cheapie here. I think that piece I showed you is the most expensive piece in the whole lineup, and everything else is under $1,000. Mostly.
Someone wants to know if they can see the chain on your neck one more time. Yeah,
sure. And with this one, you know, spending $2,400 on an Instagram Live where it feels like you can't get a refund if you get it and you hate it, then I don't know. I mean, it's hard. This is a funny one for me because I personally wouldn't buy anything for $2,400 on an Instagram Live. It's just not a smart move, in my opinion. It's like kind of insane. So if you were interested in buying this, you could talk to me afterwards and we'll give you way more images and can speak to you in a slower and more sensible way so you can make a sensible choice. Okay, you don't have to like smash the button and feel freaked out about it. Okay, I'll just keep this on. Yeah, trust is one thing, but $2,400 is a lot of money, you know? $450 on the other hand is, like I said, basically free. Not true. $450 is also a lot of money, but it's easier to sort of see what you're getting. This is a tortoise shell, yellow tortoise. I don't know what kind of tortoise shell this might possibly be, but I've been assured this is tortoise shell. Let me see if I can adjust my laying to show you guys a little better. It's almost amber looking. I would have thought this was amber. But the texture is tortoisey. And the top is high carat gold. I actually didn't test it, but speaking of trusting us, I just know by looking at it that that's what 15 karat gold looks like. And that's what they were using in the year 1800. They weren't using 14 karat or 9 karat. It's the shape of a heart. It's 450. Sorry, should have turned off my ringer before this, but okay, so it's little, it's cute. This was the thing in the Georgian era, these tiny little tortoiseshell hearts. I don't really know why. Oh shit, you know what that call was? That was my son's kindergarten teacher calling me because he has a snow day tomorrow. Okay, is anyone else raising small children and running a business at the same time? Or like doing any kind of work at the same time? And that call is like your most feared call. And I just got it. So, cool. It's my day tomorrow. I know what I'm doing. Anyway, let me show you the detailing on this. It's okay. It's fine. We got a lot of friends around. We're just going to get all the kids together and like go sledding. Can you see there's there's the cutout mount and then someone engraved the little details on the flower. They're so cute. $450. I'm just going to keep this here. If you have a charm necklace set up with a lot of different charms, I very much encourage you to put a little bit of color on there, not just metal. You need some sort of organic material. It's always going to balance it really well. Tortoise shell. What else is a good organic material? Like a tooth, like faience. Okay, I'm going to put that here and move to we're in the ancient Roman world now. Are you ready? Okay, so we're starting in on the ancient Roman coins because apparently I'm a fucking coin nerd now. Oh yeah, coral, obviously. Coral is like a great organic material to have in your lineup. So guys, should we talk about ancient Rome and the politics and the drama of ancient Rome? Here is, the first of, 6 or 7 coins I have from ancient Rome. This woman right here is a goddess. Her name is Annona, Annona. Most of these coins are $495, the vast majority of them. I just made them all the same price because it's easier that way. Anyway, she's holding in her hand, the level of detail is fucking insane, first of all. She's got in her hand, she's holding an ear of corn, and she's got a cornucopia underneath the corn. She was the goddess of the grain supply. Corn, grain. Is the talk kid-friendly? No, probably not. Probably not kid-friendly. I'll try to keep it clean, but I can't promise anything. I will try, though. Anyway, she's holding a piece of... Oh, okay. Is the talk kid-friendly? Like, if profanity is okay, what's not okay? Like, sex? Violence? It's not really my bag, but... Annona was... Okay, so most of ancient Rome's grain, corn, and wheat came from Egypt. They were obsessed with Egypt in a lot of ways, but their lives pretty much depended on it. And so Annona was the goddess of the grain supply in Egypt. And she wasn't a particularly beloved goddess in ancient Rome. She actually was created as a piece of political propaganda by this dude, Alexander Severus, I think his name was, one of the many, many rulers of Rome who wanted to associate themselves with a god to show either their power or their, perceived benevolence toward the people. Putting Annona on the coin showed that he was able to take care of his people, feed his people. He wanted to be associated with her, so the only way anyone would know what his face looked like was through coins. There was no other way. So you'd have this in your pocket, and you'd always associate him with her. These are silver. It's 100% silver. That's the way that coins got their value, and that's the way value was circulated, literally through precious metal. And yes, jump rings were added to the coins. I did that. If you don't want it, I've definitely defaced these coins with a ring so you can wear them as jewelry. I am a jewelry designer. This is how it looks on a chain. I'm selling them without chains, but if you do want a chain, let me know. I'll give you a silver chain for free. I have yards and yards of silver chain from like a decade ago that I'll just make you a necklace in the length you want, okay? Anyway, Anona is sold, but yeah, okay. There's a lot of goddesses like that, and I want to talk about like all of them. Coinage. This one's bronze, actually. Most Roman coins were silver. I've never seen a gold one, but I'm sure they exist. Bronze ones were also a thing for smaller denominations. Here we have a Roman soldier on a chariot spearing a soldier who's a fallen soldier. So sort of no remorse here. He's definitely winning, and he's going to kill the soldier. On the front, we've got Constantinus. He's, Oh, yeah. We can do it on a chain for you. DM us after the fact, okay? Because during this, we're just like scrambling to get shit done. I love the hair. I love the 3 necklaces. Constantinus, I don't know anything about him in particular, except that he ruled in the year 350 AD. But he definitely has the face and the profile of the earlier Greek rulers and gods. Just like we're obsessed. No, I don't have any Greek coins. Actually, I'm sorry. But this one definitely has a Greek flavor. If this coin had a flavor, it would be oregano. And it's got that. You like that, Veronica? Fuck it. I don't fucking know, you know? Whatever. The patina is great because it's never been cleaned. This was found in on someone's farm in England. And yeah, Rome was another world. It was never cleaned. So the copper in the bronze alloy got this great green patina, and it wasn't cleaned off. But a metal detectorist found this, and I mean, look at the outfit, man. It's kind of incredible. Look at the lettering. It's just they were borrowing from earlier Greek culture to send a message about how, you know, this leader was just like the real deal, just like the ancient Greeks. It's like giving him a real gravity to make him look like that. It's sold, so let's move on to the next one. Minerva is a name I almost gave my daughter. Minerva was the Etruscan name for the goddess Athena, who was the goddess of wisdom, war later, and crafts. So a lot of people in ancient Rome who were crafts people. Let me see if I can fix this for you. People who were carpenters, engravers. She's $495. They would take their tools, and on the wood handle or the metal head of the tool, they would put an image of the goddess Minerva, who was the patron goddess of craft. She is awesome. This coin's from 196 to 197 AD. They were only minted for 2 years. And on the front is this dude. Did I even say who he was? His name is Caracalla. I can't say I give a shit about like the actual rulers of the time. I care more about who, you know, what part of culture they were using to promote themselves. How were these deities used as propaganda and as, sort of personal promotion? Plus, you know, having a goddess like this in your pocket or on your neck on a chain sort of is like having a portable talisman, like a portable good luck charm, because Minerva really was a luck bringer. People left all kinds of offerings for all of these goddesses and gods, and really felt like that was essential for success. Yeah, okay, she's sold. So there's a few more coming. This one, is on my neck. One, because I wanted to show you how it looks on a chain. Two, because I am a particular fan of the goddess Diana. She is Hamid for Prez. I haven't gotten sent an invoice on either of the pieces I was first to comment on. If you see yourself as the first commenter, it doesn't mean we always do. I'm sorry, it's an imperfect system. Looks like you guys are fans of Diana too. Okay, so Diana, it's not a super clear image of her, but you can see her standing. She's holding a torch with both hands. And the letters around her say Diana Lucifera, like Lucifer, which actually means light-bearing. So this is Diana in her light-bearing aspect, holding a torch, bringing light. Diana was the goddess of the hunt, the moon, nature, childbirth, and nighttime. This coin was minted in silver between 193 and 217 AD, and it was during the rule of Julia Domna, who was one of the great female rulers of Rome. Her coins are sort of my favorite coins. She's got a great, also earlier Roman hairdo, and she kicked ass. So having Diana Lucifera on her coins was an obvious choice for her. So cool, right? Are you guys as into this as I am? I mean, okay, so we're going to take a little break from the coins to look at a piece of ancient Roman jewelry. This one is a fucking steal at $1,450. I think I said everything coming up was under $1,000, but this is it's incredible. $1,450. The green stone is glass, not an emerald. It's glass. Like I said, Romans were masters of glass. It's growing. It's glowing. It's amazing. It's a size 3.5. So this is a pinky ring on me, but it's an absolutely perfect pinky ring. It's got some Etruscan-ish details, but really they're just ancient details. This granulation with a high setting that's closed. Although this is fine to wear in water. It's not foil-backed or anything, and it's solid in there. I knew that would go fast. It's from the 3rd or 4th century AD, and normally this would be a lot more expensive, but I got a great deal on it because I got it from my metal detector dude who doesn't know shit about jewelry. And he sold it to me for next to nothing. Pulled it out of the ground, showed it to the local authorities, like it's the law, you have to do that in England. But this was the ring that some ancient Roman living in Britain dropped in the year 300 to 400 to 500 AD. And now it is sold. Pretty goddamn good. I was psyched about that one. Okay, back to the coins. Obviously, people dropped all kinds of stuff on the ground in Britain. The Romans were in Britain for almost 400 years. That's longer than America has been colonized. They were colonizing. Why can't I be a British metal detector dude? I mean, it is my dream to detect over there. This god is Equitas, Aequitas. I was Googling it and I was hoping that it would be something wonderful like the god of equality and fairness and justice and equity. That was not really an ancient Roman concept, equity. I think Rome, if you were Roman, then you got a lot of rights, and they were not, our concept of equity is not, doesn't go very far back in time. There's usually a hierarchy of either race or class, and hey, it still exists. You know what I'm saying? Equity is not something that any culture has achieved. So the god Equitus is holding scales in his hand and a cornucopia. But Equitus back then meant something more like honest measure or fairness in terms of not cheating, like not packing your grain bag full of rocks or something. And that was good enough for the Romans, okay? Equitus was not like Annona, the god of Egyptian corn. Equitus was not a super popular god, but this guy, Severus Alexander, in 225 AD, decided to promote Equitus as an aspect that he wanted to be associated with, which was fairness, rule of law, that kind of thing. Does that make sense? Some of these gods were kind of unknown until they were promoted as propaganda, which I think is awesome. Anyway, Equitus did come to mean the god of fairness, justice. It's $495. It's silver, $225. Oh no, sorry, $495. 225 AD. My boy Equitus. Let's see, who's next? Oh, this one is a cool ass story. I bought this before I knew the story, but I got very excited once I heard it. Here is a coin known as a siliqua or a siliqua. I have no idea how to pronounce it. Under the reign of Constantine I, which is a little bit later in the Roman Empire when things were just not going so well for Rome. We're about to enter the Byzantine Empire. This, like all the other coins I'm showing you, were found metal detected in Britain. So at this point, the Saxons were the type of people living in England, and Constantine was still exporting these like crazy throughout the realm to promote himself. There he is, looking very, very classical with that big nose. This was a smaller denomination coin. It wasn't a denarius, which was the big standard, I guess, sort of like our dollar or something. It was something teenier. And when these were exported to Britain, they were clipped, like cut with scissors or knives all the way around. Cut, little pieces were cut off. This used to have some sort of saying around the edge and maybe some more imagery. But they were cut to be the same weight as the local British Saxon coinage. The scat coins, they were called. And they started circulating amongst the local coinage. They just became normal coins after all the extra silver was cut off. And you melted down and made into coins or whatever, which is kind of a fascinating history. So the Saxons, the earliest, Saxons may have touched this coin. It's definitely clipped. All of these words were chopped up. Is that a good story? Did I tell it right? I mean, because when I learned this story, I was nearly hyperventilating with excitement. Anyway, the saying on it would have been Virtus Romanorium. Virtus was the god of excellence, basically like Rome is the best, which at that point it was not. But saying it really helps try to drive it home. And thanks, Jeannie. Here's my last of the Roman coins. This one is called, let's see, what am I calling it? The words are Restitut Orbis. We've got a woman presenting a wreath to the emperor, and he's holding a globe and a scepter. So Restitut Orbis means restorer of the world. And what that means is, at this point, it was 280 AD. The god or the ruler was, who even knows at this point? People were like dying and being assassinated and taking over left and right. This one's a little cheaper than the others, actually, 425. Restitut orbis means restorer of the world, and it sort of was, these kind of coins were used in times of crisis in Rome to convey authority and legitimacy and let people know that it's all good, like, we got this, like, shit's okay and under control, which, if you saw Restitut orbis circulating, it probably was not good and under control. Sort of near the fall of Rome here. Bronze coin, 280 AD, 425. Okay, so I said that was the end of the Roman coins. And now we're moving on, like, later in time. Time is moving forward. This one's an Irish medieval silver coin. It's from the year 1247. Okay, so it's not ancient, but it's pretty goddamned old. 1247 to 1272 AD. And it's from Ireland. We know this because it has a Dublin mint mark. Where is it? Let's see if I can see it. Mint mark. I'm not so confident about this, but the guy who I bought it from, I am confident about, so I'm just going to tell you, Dublin mint mark. It was cut in half because basically to make smaller denominations. If there were dollar coins around and someone needed 50 cents or the equivalent of, you'd cut it in half, and that's what this person did. Henry III was in power. The Equitas coin, I think, is the only one still available. But the 1200s were basically the first time English law came to Ireland. Before that, Ireland was, tribal and doing its own thing. But for the first time, Ireland was forced to use, English government, English coinage, that kind of thing. So even though this coin was made in Dublin, it has an English flavor, I would say. Okay, that's sold, so I'm going to move on. I have 3 very, very similar pieces here. They're Queen Elizabeth I, because this was like a real favorite at the last Instagram Live. Queen Elizabeth I is a classic, very famous ruler of England. Elizabethan era is named after her. This is a coin called a half-groat coin. It was made in either 1594 or 1595 or 1596. Only 3 years this coin was made. One of the cool things about it is you can see the mint mark, which is the place it was made, essentially is a wool pack, which is, okay, so England at this point, their main export was wool. The things they were known for were wool and roasted meats, as far as I know. They were really great at, like, roasting a pig and making wool. So there were symbols on all these coins, and it looks like a rolled up barrel, kind of, but it's actually a wool pack, which was the main export, and it's what made England all its money in these years, the 1500s. Same years that Shakespeare was writing. What else was happening? Here it says groat, and there is Queen Elizabeth. $495. On the back, we have her crest. We got some symbols up in there and some Roman-ish looking letters. I don't remember what it says, but I'll let you know if you want to know. You can also Google it. This ended up being a very famous coin. That one's sold, so I'll move on to the next one, which is also $495. It's almost the same. It's a little smaller because this one's a penny instead of a groat or a half groat. These were speaking of honest weights and measures, Queen Elizabeth was very serious about coinage. After a lot of fucking nonsense that went on during her father's reign, when the coinage was just like tampered with and turned into, he really needed money for his whatever wars he was fighting. So he started sort of watering down the coins with bronze and copper and all kinds of crap until the coins were worth nothing and no one wanted to use them, and the royal mint was not trustworthy and the economy collapsed. And as soon as Elizabeth came into power, she restored the coinage to made sure they were all really silver and really gold and not made of like tin or whatever. Although that made her dad a lot of money in the short term, it hurt England's reputation in the long term. This is one of those first coins from her reign, 1578 to 1579. The mint mark is a Greek cross. And on this one, you can really see her outfit and her hair. She's got like that Elizabethan ruff. You see the zigzag? And her hair is doing that Queen Elizabeth thing. If you're into the Elizabethan era, I very much recommend this book. And I'll show you. It's The Tudors in Renaissance England. Renaissance England was unlike any other Renaissance place. Basically, before Elizabeth took control, England was just like a stinky backwater with no culture and a lot of just like dirty people. More or less, that's a very, very quick and dirty rundown. But she kind of like, look, she did a lot of really fucked up things too. Incredibly fucked up. She was like the biggest colonizer, genocider of all time. But the symbolism and imagery associated with Elizabeth was pretty awe-inspiring. She was very good at self-promotion and controlling her image. There's a lot to say there, but a lot like how those rulers in Rome wanted to be associated with a specific goddess. If Julia Domna was like, Diana is my, familiar, then Queen Elizabeth really wanted to be associated with the Virgin Mary. People called her the Virgin Queen because she was never married. And by the end of her reign, when she had like no teeth left and was like poisoned by arsenic or whatever, she was being painted in these Virgin Mary poses where she just looked like the Virgin Mary. And to England, she was their Virgin Mary. It's really interesting how rulers deify themselves, Anyway, so we have 2 of these Elizabethan pennies, 3 coins altogether. I think the first one's sold, but there's 2 more silver Elizabethan pennies. They're $4.95 each. And at the last Instagram Live, I think we sold like 3 of these. So I got 3 for you this time. Let's see who's next. Okay, I feel like all of that ancientness was like really rich, like a really rich meal. So I'm taking it back to some simple and really inexpensive pieces. This one's $2.95. It's a 28-inch Victorian gold-filled chain with a gold-filled dog clip. 1890s. It's not gold. It's gold fill. But the quality of these chains is like a lot better than what you're going to find. It's a lot better quality than any like vermeil or anything that you're going to find now. Better made than a lot of gold chains I've seen. The dog clip is great. It's of the period, 1890, 1900, $295, 28 inches. If you want to have a lot of great antique charms, I gotta tell you, they don't look great unless they're on an antique chain. Sorry. But new chains just don't do the same thing. It kind of ties the whole room together, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm moving a little bit into a different kind of history, not coin history, but identity and wax seals. Wax seals are such a big part of... Okay, check this out. This guy is a bronze man, probably man, because it's like a size 9, ring from the 15th or 16th century. This would have been a merchant's seal. And you can see that it's got a pretty elaborate W or M on it. I would say it's a W with some sort of palm leaf or leaf above it. People would have actually worn these and actually used these to, verify documents. Or I don't think this was ever used on a product, but a lot of people did use wax to seal like wool packs. If you were a wool merchant and you wanted to put your mark on something for export to another part of the world or another part of the country, you'd use a seal. Brand names weren't so much a thing and fonts weren't such a thing, but merchant rings were an important thing for signing, deal making and maybe making your mark on your product. If you were selling smaller items, you could definitely close up an envelope or a small paper package with this. And it's actually wearable. It's size 9. It's a W. It's $425. It's from the 15th to 16th century. Like, that's the 1400s. It's just like, it's since I have multiple pieces here that we're talking about, it kind of just starts being numbers when I say it so much, but that shit is crazy. Okay, so here's something even crazier. Here's something, it's delightful when I find something I've never seen before and have never known about. I want to talk about these wax seals. They're a specific type of wax seal. I have 2 of them. One of them has a little fleur-de-lis on it. How much was what again? The chain? Chain was what, like $2.95? But if you want to DM us, I can make you I have like access to so many chains like this. I just have a bunch of them around. So let me know. $2.95. These guys are from the 13th century. The way I'm dating that is because this is when they were popular. But these seals are lead, and they were used by women, which is what makes them interesting to me. They're called Vesica seals, Vessica. They were used by many, many women. Lead was the common material, but richer women used ones made of bronze, and they got a lot bigger than this too. Size, from what Google tells me, I'm not really totally believing this, but they say that size mattered. Like if you had a really big one, that might meant you were of a higher status, but something about that doesn't sound right to me. Anyway, they always had either a figure, a female figure, or these are $5.25 each, by the way. They always had some sort of figure in the middle. This one's a cross because religion was like everything at that time. And this one has some sort of fleur-de-lis, fleur-de-lis was a popular one too. And they always have a phrase or lettering and a name around it. Again, these were used to stamp your signature or your agreement or identity on documents and on letters and on packages. And they always started with a little cross at the very top, and then the words began and went around the perimeter. Vesica seals, call me crazy, but are they a little bit like vaginal looking? This isn't totally my idea. This is the idea of what they were always shaped like this, rounded diamond shape. Seems female to me. And the 13th century was the height of their popularity, which is how I'm dating them. What else do I want to say? I didn't really know how to make these into jewelry because they don't seem like I'd want to wear one. They're heavy, they're lead, they're just objects I'm going to sell as they are. $5.25 each. Let me know if you want better pictures. I feel like if I'm selling something that's not jewelry, it's a little bit like confusing to people sometimes, including myself, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta have this stuff. So we saw the merchant seal ring. We saw the Vesica seals from like 1,000 years later. No, that's not true. They were both from the Middle Ages. Then we can fast forward like, you know, another few hundred years. Nice. To the Georgian era. And I have this tiny, teeny little wax seal. You know, one of the things we always like to sell are wax seals. This one's from around 1820, and it's got the tiniest little sunrise. Can you see the sun rising over a mountain or coming out from behind clouds? I guess it could be a sunset, but it seems more optimistic than that to me. It's $650. It's tiny. It's really well priced. 1810, 1820 would be the year. It's not gold. It's just metal, some kind of pinchback, very high quality, non-gold gold metal that's going to wear a lot like gold. There's no tarnish. There's no dark spots. There's no bad solders or anything. It's just that high quality Georgian pinchback with a... I don't have a gem tester here in my studio. That's with Lindsay. But it's either a citrine or a topaz. It's kind of tangerine colored. It's fabulous. $625. Screamin' deal. Sunrise. It's very like hand carved and perfect for a necklace. Next up is my Georgian jet bracelet that I've been wearing all week. Jet. I mean, now we've moved into the 1830s or 1840s. This is an early one, maybe even 1820s. This, I'm asking $1,700, which is a pretty great deal for a gold jet bracelet of this quality and so early. Jet is a fossil material. It's a fossilized organic material from the monkey puzzle tree. Fossilized, absolutely black, which is where the name jet black comes from. $1,700. This one is all mounted in gold, 9-karat rose gold with these great early 19th century collet settings. There's not a crack, a chip on any of this jet, and all the little beads are carved too. One thing I know that makes it early Georgian is when they put so much care into the handmade clasp. This clasp, when it's closed, no one's going to see that. But look at that great like scrolling over here too. They didn't need to make it so nice, but they did. They made it really nice. All parts. Yeah, it's like the standard size, sort of a 7-inch bracelet, about an inch long, and just like really finely made. And real jet. The way you know real jet is, sounds kind of gross, but it looks oily. It almost looks like the lens of your like you want to clean it, but there's nothing oily about it. That's just what jet looks like. It looks almost like slick. But even more than slick, it looks oily. I don't know. It's a gross thing to say, but that's the best descriptor. And it's actually saved me a bunch of times when someone tries to sell me jet and it's not oily, then it's not jet. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this is incredible. Whoever asked for the invoice, if you're a fan of jet, like this is a really nice piece. And these high quality jet pieces don't come along that much. People chop up jet jewelry a lot. It's pretty sad. Okay, next I have two nearly identical 1/2-inch Georgian split rings. They're 9-karat. Anyone who is into collecting antique charms and chain knows about these. These are $325 each. One of them has some faceting. One of them is absolutely smooth, but the faceting is pretty worn too. Can you see it? This is the one with the facets. And this is the one without. The 1/2-inch size is really, really, really useful because it looks like It's not one of those big honkin' like inch things that has to have 100 charms on it. Put 3 charms on here and you are like good to go. 9 carat, 1830s. And the other good thing about these is they're a totally neutral gold color. They're not super yellow. They're not super rose. They can handle a rose gold or a yellow gold charm situation. And great, these are good prices. $325, that's like let's see. Okay, we're on our last 8 or so pieces. Is that right? The next one is my butterfly necklace. Oh yeah. Okay, if this doesn't sell, I'm giving it to my mama for Christmas. Can I open one? Well, I'll show you how they open. They open a lot like how, okay, when you get like keys cut at the hardware store? It's like that. See that little, they gotta get a fingernail up in there and it opens like this. See that? And then you put your charm on and then it closes back up. Just like you put a key on a key ring. Make sense? Here's something I've never seen before, but it's delightful. I think this is deco. I think it's Art Deco with a later clasp put on, or this could even be 1930s. Silver necklace, $750, and the color is the kind of color that is Lindsay's and my favorite color, which is like no color. It looks like sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's brown, sometimes it's beige, sometimes it's green. It's like every color there is, and that's because they're made of, there's butterfly wings in there under the glass. Particularly butterflies called the blue morpho butterfly. I'll give you a better look. People have been using butterfly wings as gemstone dupes for probably a really, really long time. Crazy, right? So the blue morpho butterfly, I did a little Googling, and they're the only butterfly that, okay, most butterflies have this iridescent wing because they use some sort of visual interference. Okay, well, that's got to be wrong. Someone can Google it and tell me, but the blue morpho butterfly has a unique wing pattern that makes their wings really iridescent. And that's it. This is a really interesting deco use of organic material for color. And the color is, you can see it. It's goddamn amazing. And for $750, this deco piece is like, I don't know. It's really wearable. It's really special. And it lays nice too. You're right. Let's see. I'm going to wear it for a little while. I have seen butterfly jewelry before. It's usually really heavy-handed and kind of ugly. It's usually like a big honkin', someone tries to like create a mosaic or like a collage of a butterfly with the butterfly wings, which is pretty dorky. It's 15.5 inches. So it's going to be like shorter layer, but nothing crazy. I'm not like a super petite person. 15.5 inches. Yeah, people made landscapes out of wings too. Okay, blue morphos have no blue pigment. The shape of the scales reflects blue light. Thank you. That's what I needed to know. Okay, so, oops. I have 2 pieces that are nearly identical here. I got from the same dealer in France. They're these French amethyst egg pendants on 18 karat gold. We're asking $495 each, and there's 2 of them. So eggs are a great, like, again, if you're doing a charm necklace setup with multiple charms, an egg is a great way to break up any kind of like awkward sizing and shapes. I'm not explaining that very well, but eggs are also a great symbol for all kinds of things: possibility, fertility, abundance. And these are a sort of fantastic, sort of like agatized looking amethyst. They're French. It's got these little 18 karat caps. The Morpho necklace is $750. I don't think anyone's bought it yet.
Yeah, still available.
Still available. These guys have great French hallmarks on the tops, which is a eagle's head stamped right in there. It's like an eagle's profile. I love a French hallmark. And these, I'm thinking, were inspired by like Fabergé's eggs of the early 20th century, but they're French and they have that great French gold quality. $495 each. Okay, here I'm moving on to one of the super weird things I have. I found this in, of all places, Chelsea Flea Market in New York, which has become really good again. For years, it was not good. Now it's still, I don't know if I would say good, but I found a few good things there. It's always got that like, sort of like a freaks converge on the Chelsea Flea Market in New York. Anyway, this is a little pin. Can you see it's a bone, a piece of bone? Specifically, it is rabbit bone. This took a lot of sleuthing for me to figure out what it was. But because I am insane, here's what I found out. It's a rabbit bone mounted in, you know what? I did not test this. I don't know if it's gold or not gold. It looks like it could be metal and not gold, but since it's $425, so what the hell? I priced it low, like it's not gold, but it could be gold. Or maybe these, okay. Anyway, the reason it's rabbit bone, rabbit, I'm sure like, you know, people have been carrying rabbit's feet around for luck for many years. Rabbit bones apparently have similar lucky protective qualities, particularly around the World War I years, which totally makes sense in terms of the way this pin is built. This looks like World War I era stuff to me. It doesn't have that barrel hinge of the Georgian and Victorian era, and it doesn't have that 20th century like machined hinge. This is, I don't know what part of the rabbit this is, but I looked it up, and the Museum of Witchcraft in the United Kingdom has a bunch of similar pieces in their archive. They said they have lots of records of the blade of a rabbit carried for good luck in 1911, 12, 13, and 14 throughout World War I by World War I soldiers. Rabbit parts were, yeah, you had me at Museum of Witchcraft. Tell me about it. Rabbit parts, bones, fur, feet, early 20th century talisman stuff. So they also said they had a lot of evidence of pelvic bones of rabbits being carried by World War I soldiers, some for good luck and some to prevent sexually transmitted diseases. Very particular use of rabbit. But this one's just, I would say, a lucky charm. It's 1.5 inches long. It's so witchy. Witchy. I actually have a bone piece that I use as a pendant. Like, I put it on my charm setup. Like I said, like, you got to put some organic stuff on your necklace. Bone is a great idea. That looks cool. Bone, coral, fossil, jet, amber, tortoise, hair, like all these things make a great balancer for your charm necklace. Here. I'm jumping a lot around in history, but here's another medieval piece. It's a thimble. It's a copper thimble. People have been making them this way for 1,000 years because they are really, really effective at doing the thing they need to do. This one came from my metal detector dude. He said it was found in Suffolk, that area of the UK. It's been underground for a long time, but hasn't been smashed or damaged or harmed. It is totally usable, like actually usable. It's $425. This one, apparently they did this square top thing around the 15th century. So we're talking about the year 1450 or something. Inside, it's all uncleaned. Can you see in there? Nothing gross or anything, just some like green patina, but it's this great dark bronzy color. But it is some kind of copper alloy, copper and bronze, I would say. And yeah, $425, metal detected medieval thimble. This is a great gift for like anyone who sews, because people who sew have like their weird sewing box, and a sewing box is like a treasure box. $425. Okay, next, I only have 4 pieces left. 2, 3, and 4, and these are all like really well priced and cheap and cheerful, guys. This sunflower, I haven't been that into floral things these days because flowers just like pretty flowers just don't do it for me. But this one is a piqué sunflower. Piqué is tortoiseshell inlaid with silver and gold. It was really popular in the 19th century. Before plastic was invented, the only kind of plastic that existed was tortoiseshell and kind of like vulcanite too. Anything that could be melted and then molded or bent or inlaid was a thermoplastic. You would use it by heating it up and then doing whatever you needed to do with it. But tortoiseshell was one of the greatest. It retained this great dark color. It held on to things really well. You didn't need glue. And the cool thing about sunflowers is that they, like all flowers in the 19th century, had a meaning, a symbolism. And their symbolism was adoration, loyalty, longevity, warmth, and happiness. I mean, they're always pointing their faces at the sun. They're happy, cheerful. That's sort of what it meant. Happiness, which is really simple sentiment, but you know what? I'll take that simple sentiment. Life is really complicated. Piqué sunflower, 1850, I would say. It's a great size too. And like I said, organic material. Okay, we don't sell that much hair jewelry anymore. But on an Instagram live, I'm ready to like do all the hair jewelry because you guys are like the real freaks, the real collectors. Can you see what's the hair? It's really finely braided. I'll do it on some paper so it's easier. You see that? Now you can see it, right? It's 3-dimensional. It's totally 3-dimensional. It's like puffy. It's like a net. Double-sided. It's $795 in gold. The lyre is all engraved. And lyres, well, first of all, let me say the hair is immaculate. There's not like a hair out of place, really. It's just really well done and well preserved. And I washed it in dish soap and hot water. I didn't scrub it, obviously, but it's clean. It's not gross. And lyres meant, they were sort of an ancient Greek instrument, right? They represented wisdom and the art of music. Apollo always had one. And then Christians sort of adopted the symbolism later to mean divine harmony. It's sold? Okay, it's sold.
Yeah.
That's a really great hairpiece. Two more little things. The first one is $295. It's a great piece of agate. It's just a book. It's in the shape of a book. There's the spine of the book, $295. Probably a fob, but the veining on this agate is like really rad. That burgundy and black veining. This would have been in the enthusiastic appreciation of books. It was probably on the end of some dude's watch fob. It's modest. It's not too showy. I don't think it was associated with a Bible in any way. I think it's just like literature. This was the great age of, books and fiction and novels and reading, 1850 or so, $295. And the very last thing I have is another sewing souvenir. It's $45, y'all. These were hand-blown glass, not so unlike those Roman glass earrings. People were still using small heat setups to create glass tops for pins and all kinds of glass. This was around 1830, I'm thinking. The slogan on there says, "The Archer, Berry Pins. Ask for millwards, needles." Famous since 1730. It's paper, and if you take these pins out, which are all very usable, they're steel, but not stainless steel. The lyre was actually made of hair, yes. There's like a coil of paper in there, and that's how you stick your pins in. They're all in pretty good shape. And pins were one of the things that women, everyone used pins. You used them, oh my God, for clothing, for attaching things to other things, for keeping, baby diapers were still fastened with pins. You'd use them in your hair. It was like just an essential part of female life. And, there was this thing called pin money. Basically any extra money that women could earn, or it's like their spending money, was called pin money. Whether or not they actually used it on pins is not important. It was just sort of like their extra cash, going out cash, carrying around cash. I think we still have a bunch of questions about this long chain because it's not easy to buy a sort of like investment piece like that on a video. But it's, 30 inches long, 1830s, I would say, Georgian handmade Rollo style chain. It's that great high carat orangey gold, almost like saffron colored. And the clasp is Georgian, hollow, handmade, goes like that. It's got that great texture from the beginning of the, Industrial Revolution. Super fun once again. That's all my pieces. Should I go through the remainder? I think this time I'm going to actually put things on Instagram stories, anything that didn't sell, because it's December and people are ready to part with their money, apparently. But if anyone wants to, it looks like that one, someone took the plunge on this one, $2,400. It's a great chain. You're not going to be sorry. It's like got this amazing feel. So what's still left? I think metal American bracelet, $550.
That's sold.
This one's sold.
The jersey locket is available.
Oh yeah. What about the spider and the fly?
That is available.
Okay, cool. So talk us through my rings. Oh yeah. I will tell you about my rings here. One is the French baby tooth ring, which is available?
Yeah.
Okay. French rose gold 18 karat baby tooth ring from probably like 1880 or so. This one is mine. I'm not selling it. I'm sorry. It's a Ruby Eternity Georgian ring, which are really hard to find. This one's a skeletal ring, which were probably 1721 is the date. You can see it's like a skeleton going all the way around. There are the ribs, pelvis. There's a skeleton skull, some crossed bones, and hourglass there. Feet. The feet are really incredible. I wear that. And this every day. This one is maybe for sale eventually. It's the Georgian Eternity ruby, like rubies. They're all like crazy old cut rubies. It's wowzers. This is Athena. This is Georgian, but in the classical style. It's Athena wearing a Corinthian war helmet, like a battle helmet on her head, which Athena was sometimes pictured with her Corinthian battle gear on. That's a snake I wear every day for like 20 years. Anyway, Jersey is awesome. I have a special connection because I grew up in the burbs of New Jersey. 1100? I think that's what that was. Yeah. Spider and the Fly is going to go, let's see. I'm wearing it now, but it's going to go right on the website because Lindsay has a thing for this piece. Spider and the Fly Art Nouveau brooch, 1870, $850. What else? The merchant seal. What else is unsold?
The
tortoise
shell heart, I believe.
Yeah, here's tortoiseshell heart.
Double check.
Someone just asked to see it, so maybe they're
thinking
about it. It's yellow tortoise, which is, I don't know what kind of animal, what kind of turtle this was from, but the earlier Georgian pieces often have this like amber color. And this was meant to be a heart, even though it doesn't have the cleft on top. This is how hearts looked in the 1700s and a good part of the 1800s and before. Sometimes people would put the cleft on top too. It wasn't a hard and fast rule, but this definitely would have been recognized as a heart, like a love heart. And it is $450, 1830s, I would say. The merchant seal ring sold. Queen Elizabeth, Equitas, everything else is sold?
Equitas is available.
Oh yeah, Equitas.
And we have 2 Queen Elizabeths available, the pennies.
Okay. I can sell those very easily on the Instagram stories. Where's Equitas? I think he's on my body still. This is the last of the Roman coins. Equitas was the Roman personification of justice, equality. He's holding scales, like who's the goddess of justice? The seal again. Which seal are we talking about?
Oh, the sunset seal, the teeny.
Yeah, that's sold though, right?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. What else are we missing?
That one's still available.
The seal,
thimble.
if you were to wear it, it would look like it's so little. It's just like a half an inch tall. Pretty small. And here's what the either topaz or see how orangey pink it is? And it's a sun rising over some clouds or a mountain. Very handmade. It's great. It looks to be foil backed. So it's a citrine or topaz, or maybe it's glass with orange foil behind it. I'm not sure. I don't have a testing rig here. And it's metal. And it's great. What else? Oh yeah. Thimble, $425. Copper alloy. Looks like a copper bronze alloy to me. 15th century. Metal detected in Suffolk in the UK. $425. Pretty good. And to put your finger where some like medieval person's finger was is a kind of intense feeling. What Let's see, what is Regina asking about? The rabbit bone? That's sold though, right? Maybe
It
not.
is still up for grabs, but I just sent her an invoice, so.
Okay, it looks like this. I didn't test it for gold. I don't think it's gold. I think it's a World War I Lucky Charm talisman for luck. And it's on my necklace right now, but it is a brooch. Well, that's great. We sold everything except like maybe 6 pieces. Let's wrap it up, guys. I'm going to go home to my babies, and you guys try to keep your heads on straight this week, because there's a real weird feeling in the air. Am I the only one? Everyone seems to be losing their goddamned minds. But anyone who wants to talk about it, we have a couple more minutes. Does anyone want to ask me anything? See anything again? Yeah, they are. It looks like 15 karat gold to me on that tortoise shell heart. That's what people were doing in the Georgian era. They weren't like, it's not a ton of gold, so they weren't going to use like fake gold for a little scrap of finding. You guys, I love doing these. The next one is in a week, and the whole lineup is ready to go, and it's very similar to this one. I've been collecting stuff like, it's been a great joy. A great joy. Yeah, can you believe the election was just like a few weeks ago? Oh, Claire, yes. When you put pins on your necklaces, they always poke me. Yes, I do have advice. Take a emery board and file the shit out of that pin. File it down, okay? Make it flat, 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 or like just softly rounded with a nail file. You're allowed to do that. It's your goddamn jewelry. If that means you can wear it every day, use that nail file and file the pin down. Or take a pair of pliers and round the, completely make a loop out of that edge. Favorite contemporary jewelers. I like Lauren Nicole. I like Polly Wales a lot. I like CC Jewelry, who's making really interesting custom enamel. Honestly, contemporary jewelers, who am I into? Not that excited about. Tiny piece of cork, yeah, you could do that with a tiny piece of cork. I feel like that would fall right off. I don't know, who else has contemporary jewelers they like? I don't know, I don't really follow anyone. Recently, I went to the goldstone amphora with red wax. I still have that. I can send you some pictures, Jeannie, if you want. It wasn't in this Instagram live. It was like a different thing. What was I just saying? Contemporary jewelers. I do love Margaret Cross, and she's a great person too. She's great to work with, so reverent. She works with people's ashes and like bereaved people who are making mourning jewelry. And she's like super, oh yeah, Gabriella Kiss. She's actually my neighbor. Gabriella Kiss lives like a few miles from me, and she is like in my community, basically. Like I've been to community barbecues with her, and she runs around with my kids and stuff. And her studio up here, which is not open to the public, it's just her home studio, is amazing. Her work is great. Morgan Faye, don't know them. Armenta, don't know them. Good Look, Castro Smith. These are all, it's all new to me. What else do I like? I don't know, I love learning about this stuff. Stephen Kretschmer, what a name. Yeah, it looks like people are still checking out. They got on the thing, Otter Creek Goods. Is this sold? I think this is sold. The bone?
Which one are you?
Rabbit bone?
Bone, yes. Sold.
Sorry. Oh, I like Bittersweets too. She's a cool person. We were friends in Brooklyn. I like her skeleton bands a lot. She's a great sense of humor, great illustrator. Did the jet bracelet sell?
Yes.
Yeah. This is a great bracelet. This is some great early Victorian, just like a specimen. Like this is like a teaching piece. But I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to get this stuff ready to send, which tomorrow with the school, the snow day, I'm going to have my children in here with me. That should be really interesting and totally successful. No problem at all. What do you say, Veronica? You ready to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Come back in a week. There's lots of, I'm keeping it even more affordable, cheap, cheerful, unexpected, lots more Roman stuff. Good night and thank you. This stuff is, it means a lot. Spending your time, attention, and money here is like, I don't know, it's appreciated. Good night. Bye. Bye.